Hi, I'm Darnell with Wave Oven Recipes, and this is my review of the Ninja Smart Double Oven. So I'm going to go ahead and get it unboxed. And before I get it out of this box here, just wanted to show you the box that they basically package it in, and I'll get it on out of here. Alright, so now that everything is unboxed, going to show you the accessories that basically come with the cooker. It comes with a lot, by the way. There's a drip pan in there, I'll show you later. No big deal there. But this is the air fry basket that it comes with. It comes with two wire racks. So these are the two wire racks it comes with. It comes with two bake pans. So two bake pans, and also comes with a temperature probe because it's the smart variety, so that's pretty nice to have. And I'm going to show you the documentation. They basically give you like some information here about oils. I'll talk about that later. The manual and this is a quick start guide and inspiration guide, basically recipes. So a quick start guide and a bunch of recipes are in there. So, and it also has like a chart for cooking things, cooking charts. So some pretty nice information there with the cooker. And going to show you the power cord also, because it's a 3-prong power cord, so it's a grounded plug, which is always nice to have. It's a pretty long cord that it has too. And I think the cord length they say is like 40 inches. So yeah, it's about 40 inches of cord. That's pretty nice. And the cooker is 1800 watts, so that's about the max you can get, just about max you can get for a indoor kitchen cooker on the countertop is about 1800 watts. So pretty nice that it should be able to do a lot of work. And being able to cook top and bottom like two separate kind of cookers, you're going to need that power. So I'm glad to see that it's 1800 watts. Now I want to go over the product dimensions. The cooker is 18.6 inches in length by 16.39 inches in width by 13.27 inches in height. And it's a pretty heavy cooker. It weighs 31.26 pounds, and the box is not a light box, so it definitely has some weight to it. And they say that this cooker can fit 6 pounds of wings and a 12-inch pizza. I guess maybe you put the 6 pounds of wings up here and the pizza down here. And they also mentioned that you can cook up to a 4.5 pound chicken in it. They mentioned a 4.5 pound chicken in one part of the documentation, I noticed. And they mentioned that it can toast up to 6 slices of bread. Now, there's something to keep in mind as far as that's concerned. You can only toast on the top part. The top part has different functions from the bottom part. We'll go through those in detail later. But functions like toast are only available on the top, not down here. Now, as far as the oil, they recommend that you use a high smoke point oil. They say, don't use something that has a low smoke point or you're probably going to have some smoke, because I guess this thing will get pretty hot on you. I personally prefer extra light olive oil. I know some of you prefer other high smoke point oils, and those are cool too. But the temperature ranges for this cooker are 85 degrees Fahrenheit to 450 degrees Fahrenheit. That varies based on the function. We'll go through those in detail later. The time ranges for this cooker can go up to 24 hours. Of course, that varies based on function too. But the max is 24 hours of cooking time. So now I'm going to give you a look around the cooker. See if I don't knock anything over as far as all these accessories are concerned. But here on the side you see the air vent for the fan. That's the fan there on the side. We'll see inside in a moment. Other side you see some air vents up top there. Here on the back you got some more air action in the back. So that's your look around. Okay, so now I'm going to give you a close-up view of the cooker. And you see the top door and the bottom door. You got your controls over here on the side. We'll go through all those in detail when we get things plugged in later. Did want to show you here for the door, since it has like two doors, it's kind of interesting how they work. If you just pull the door, like just pull on it, basically the whole thing opens up. You can have access to the top parts and the bottom parts. But if when it's closed up, you press this button here and pull, you get access to just the top part. And there's no way to get access to the bottom part without opening the top as well. So basically we'll just open things up again and take a look on inside here. I guess we'll start in the bottom. So let's see. Now this is interesting down bottom here. You see the fan that I mentioned over there on the side. So we get a good look at the fan. And I guess I don't see a heating coil on the fan, but here on the sides are heating coils right here. There's the heating coils back in the back there. Some more heating coils. Up here in the back corner we got the ambient probe up there. Over here we've got the light right there. So a lot going on there, but it looks like the only heating elements are over here on the side. I don't see any heating elements over on the other side. I don't see anything down bottom. This is the crumb tray. You know, I pull it out. I don't see any heating elements down there, you know, or nothing in the back. You look up top inside here, there's no heating elements like visible here on the top, but when we go up to the top level, there's some heating elements up here. So there's like 1, 2, 3 heating elements up top here, and I guess they're supposed to come down, maybe heat this metal here. You can't move this metal in the middle out, but I guess they're supposed to like heat this metal, maybe heat things down here, some along with the heat over here and the fan blowing your air around. But you got 3 right there, and then up here higher up you've got let's see, you got 3 more up there, and you got an ambient probe over there in the corner over there, and you got your light in the back on the top level. Now as far as the racks, you got a rack on top here, you got 1 rack level here on top, and then down bottom here you got 2 rack levels on the bottom. So you got 2 on the bottom, you got 1 on top. And back there in the back and the sides, there's no fan on the top part. So there's no fan for like air fry or convection on the top part. And so just taking another look up top there, just giving you a good look around because it's got a lot going on. But that's your close-up view there. Okay, so now I've got the Ninja double oven next to the good old Ninja Foodie XL Pro air fry oven, and you can see the 2 of them together. The XL Pro air fry oven goes a little further back. Height wise, I think they're just about even. Maybe the double oven's just a smidge smaller, but some pretty interesting sizing, just kind of comparing the 2 of them. I'm going to open up real quick and let's see. Then just compare the wire rack of the XL Pro to the double oven. You see the XL Pro one is a little longer as far as width. It's a little wider. Yeah, it's a little wider. And I want to get the pan that comes with both of them also. I'm going to compare the pans. Now this is the XL Pro pan, I believe. No, this is the XL Pro pan because this one has more stainage on it. It's been more used. So this is the XL Pro pan, and this is the double oven pan. And you see the XL Pro pan is just a little wider. The double oven pan is maybe just a little taller, maybe just a tiny bit, a little bit. But I think overall the XL Pro pan can probably hold just a little more. And I'm going to get a 13-inch bake pan. Sorry for that clanging and banging, but 13-inch bake pan, no handles here. You know that fits in the Ninja Foodie XL Pro air fryer oven fine. And going to, let's see, I'll put this on the lower rack. And let's see, oops. Alright, so that's a 13-inch bake pan, no handles, no fit. So it doesn't fit in there. So let's see, do it this way. Nope, still not going to work. Can't close it all the way. So you can't get a 13-inch bake pan with no handles in there. So I'm going to do some measurements now. We'll see how things measure up between the two of them. Let's close up. We'll do exterior measurements first and then go inside of them, do an interior measurement of both of them. Well, when we look at height, as I said, the double oven just a smidge smaller. And let's see, it's about, it's somewhere in 13 less than 14-inch range for both of them. Front to back, the XL Pro, it's got a hump, so I'm doing from the hump in the back all the way to the handle. You got about 20 inches. For this double oven, from the hump, it's got a small hump to the handle, 17 inches, so definitely smaller there. From side to side here, I'm looking at about 17 inches. On the double oven, I'm looking at, because it's got the display on the side, it's a little longer. So it's about 18 inches, about another inch because of the display over there. That's interesting. Let's open up. Now inside, I'm going to do like the front to back inside of the XL Pro. Mine is one of the first ones they came out with, so it's got a fan guard that you cannot get today. And it's 12 inches front to back. Double front to back is 13 inches. I get one more inch. There's no fan guard or anything like that in the way. Let's do side to side. XL Pro. We're looking at just about 14¼ inches. Side to side here. We're looking at 13 inches. Yeah, it's 13 inches, but with the humps on the rack guards, you lose some. So it's 13 inches, but the humps, like I said, on those rack holders, they take away a little bit. Now, of course, top to bottom of the XL Pro, you got the full size, and I'm just doing from like the bottom up to the top, and just a general idea. It's about 10 inches there. Now with the double oven, when you do like inside, top to bottom there, you got about 6 inches here, then it goes up about another less than 5 inches. So less than 5 inches here. Let's see what we got at the second level. Yeah, it's less than 5 inches there to work with. And so it just kind of gives you a feel there of how things basically stack up as far as size. You got your heating elements and all that in the way there, so you got a little bit of space you got to account for your first rack level and such. So that's your size there for both of them from the interior dimensions there. Now I'm going to show you one more thing with the interior measurements. If we do from like the lowest rack level up to the top, the lowest rack level in the Ninja Foodi XL Pro to the top is just under 9 inches. Now the lowest rack level here in the double oven up to the top of it is 5 inches. If I take this rack out and I put it up on top, the lowest rack, well, it's only one rack level, not even 3 inches before you get to the top there. So those are some sizing differences that you need to take into account and consider, depending on what you prefer. But there is a full review of the Ninja Foodi XL Pro air fry oven here on the channel, along with a lot of recipe cook videos, tons of other cooker reviews and recipes, and literally hundreds of videos here on the channel. So tons to check out. Okay, so now I've got the Gourmet French door extra large air fry oven next to the Ninja double door oven, and just going to give you a kind of a general view here. The Gourmet is just way bigger. I've done like full measurements of this cooker. It's inside. You're gonna hold a lot more because it's bigger than even the XL Pro is as far as what it can hold as far as size and all. But you see all the space you got there in the height versus the Ninja double door oven. Double door is just a little taller front to back, the Gourmet is bigger. I think the Gourmet is just looking bigger all around because it's just a huge cooker. And there's, you know, cooks and reviews and stuff of this as well. But I just wanted to give you a quick look side by side to see how they look. And I do want to show you how the wire rack for the XL, French door XL, just dwarfs the Ninja in size. It just dwarfs it, so much bigger. Okay, so although they say that you can hold a 4.5 pound chicken in this cooker, I'm going to open up and put this rack down here and see about a 5 pound chicken, because I don't have a 4.5 pound chicken. This chicken is frozen, so I'm not going to be actually cooking. It's just for testing the size. But this is my 5 pound chicken here, and stick it on in there, and we see that it you know, it fits. You don't have heating elements like right here. I mean, they're like on the other side of this metal anyway. So I think, you know, you can go up to the top. See, a 5 pound chicken does fit, and so I guess a 4.5 would too. So you can fit a 5 pound chicken in there. It's close quarters as far as, you know, being near the top, but it still does fit. Alright, so now I'm going to do an initial plug-in of the cooker. So got my plug here. I'm going to pop it on into the outlet. So it's plugged in and nothing comes on or anything. I'll show you how to turn it on in a moment. I wanted to show you, because I didn't show you earlier, this is the opening for the base of the meat probe jack right here. You basically stick your meat probe in there when you're doing meat probe cooking. Let's turn this back here. Now to turn the cooker on, we just basically hit this power button. And judging by the display, I'm going to turn it back off. I'm going to turn my light off so you can see that. I think that it might have got drowned out a little bit. Okay, so turn the big light off and turn it on again. And you see it says hello. I guess let you know it's there. So that's basically your initial plug-in, and you see how things go when you first turn it on. I will mention that if you don't do anything with it, like after a cook or just in general, for 10 minutes it will turn itself off. So if you don't want to turn it off with the button like that where it tells you bye, if you don't do anything with it for 10 minutes, it's going to turn itself off and go away, I guess, on its own. I don't know if it'll tell you bye if it waits 10 minutes, but it will turn itself off. So now I'm going to do a temperature test. I've got my iGrill 2 here, going to get that turned on, and I've got the temperature probe setting there on the middle rack level there. I'm going to slide it on in there with that ambient probe, and let's see, close it on up there. And I'm going to, I guess because it's got like 2 areas that I want to test as far as temperature, and I'm assuming if I were to run the top and the bottom at the exact same time, things may read hotter than they would reading just one part. But you never know, you know, it might not be able to put out as much when doing both at the same time. But I'm going to assume that going into this, because I'm only going to test top and bottom here of the cooker. And after I test the bottom, when I'm testing the top, it's already going to be kind of hot up there already. But I'm assuming maybe these heating elements will kick in a little bit. We'll see. But this is going to be the only test that I do of temperature from a basically straight cold shot. So I'm going to do the bottom and then I'll do the top and we'll see what we get. But it'll already be probably a little warm up there by the time we do it. We'll see if it's able to, you know, hit max temperatures and whatnot. So basically when you first turn the cooker on, you can select your top and your bottom temperatures and time. So I'm just going to do the bottom, and I'm going to do let's see, you can select the function. I'm going to go to air fry there, and then I hit my temp. I'm going to spin up to 450, then time, let's spin up to, let's do 30 minutes just to have an even place to run from. I'm going to hit start, and it does a preheat, so I'm going to let it do its preheat and then let it run for maybe 10 minutes. And then after we do the bottom, we'll try the top. Seems like it gets pretty loud for that air fry, that fan's going, so we'll let it run for a bit. Alright, so it said that it reached temp. It's been running thinking that it's, I guess, done preheating. And I guess preheat is not really preheat, which is kind of the norm in Ninja land. Because it was at like 290 something. And, you know, I set it to 450. But it says the preheat's done when it's in, it wasn't even 300 degrees yet. So I guess that's the usual Ninja thing where they do those quickie preheats, but they aren't really heating up to the actual temperature that you set it to on preheat. So we'll just let it run for a little bit and we'll see what we get. Alright, it's been running for about over 8 minutes now, but I keep seeing the temperature gets up to like 449 and it bounces down to like 446. So it's close to 450. I mean, with their ambient probe being a little higher, I think that they're probably accurate with their ambient probe reading being a little higher in the corner there. Mine's kind of like down on the rack. But of course, the food's going to be where I'm measuring, not where they're measuring. But, you know, it gets between 449 and keeps kind of adjusting down a little to 446. So, close enough, I'd say. But I want to just kind of feel around things. Down here, things feel cool. Things are cool there. On the side, things are a little hot. Up top, I'll feel that again later. I mean, I know I'm not using the top, but just wanted to check it. Oops, get out of the way. Let's see. On this side, things are cooler. Things are definitely cooler on this side. Let's see in the back. Go back down the bottom here. It's kind of warm. It's kind of warm. It's not like hot, but it's kind of warm over there. So there's some heat in there. And I guess even though there are no heating elements and stuff on the side, I guess the bottom line is it is making heat. It is reaching, you know, the temperature that it should be reaching there. So pretty good stuff there. Now I want to do some more checking of things. Let me see. I'm going to check making some changes on the fly to the time and temp. So let's see. If I do time and let's say I run it up. Yeah, so you can just press time again and it locks it in. Temp, I could do the same. So easy to make changes on the fly. I'm going to leave it at 450 though. And let's see, anything else I want to check here? No, I think that's all I wanted to check. I'm going to start working on the top now. So to stop, you can basically press that button there to stop. Oh, but I want to test one more thing. I keep running. If I open the door, let's see what happens. It doesn't stop. I open the door, it's still running. No auto pause on the door there. Wow, no auto pause. Usually with Ninja they come with that. But with this one, you gotta press the button and go back up there and you can keep going again. So that's interesting there. But let me try and put the ambient probe up top and we'll see what temperatures we get up top when I move it up there. So let's see how things feel. Ooh, things feel hot up there. Yeah, so these heating elements up here were working. It's hot. Good thing I didn't stick my hand in there and burn myself. Let's see what we can do using silicone tongs here. We can get things in. Yeah, there we go. So we got it up there. Close on up. So now I'm going to turn it on up and we'll go up top and I'm going to use the bake function. So I'm going down to bake and going to hit for temperature, going to go up to 450, time, go out to 30 minutes and going to go ahead and start with that. And you see it's doing a preheat again. So I don't know if this is like Ninja's 90-second preheat or what. I guess you'll be able to see it on a timer as I time things. But we'll let it go ahead and preheat and then we'll see what temperatures it gets up to up top here. Alright, so it's presumed that it's reached 450 and we see that it's over 500 degrees now. So pretty interesting. And I usually don't put any stock in the heating elements turning red or not, because I've had plenty of cookers that I've used where the heating elements never get red and things still get as hot as they should. But in this case, I did notice that the heating elements got red up top here, but they weren't getting red before. But I'm pretty sure that this bottom row, well, the top's bottom row of heating elements had to be heating down here some to help out with, you know, maybe this here, because it was pretty hot up there. So I'm thinking that these help and that runs down there. But when you're running up top here, all 6 top and bottom of the upper level are running to get things hot. And we see that it's well over 500 degrees in there. I'm going to let this run for a little while and we'll see how things go with this. Okay, we let things run for about 7 minutes and see that the temperature dropped a bit. So it was over 500, but I guess it's regulated itself down, and so now it's like at 438. So I guess with my probe being where it is and their probe being up in the corner where it is, you know, there's a little discrepancy there, but I wouldn't say that it's like way far off, but a little discrepancy there in the temperature. So that's how the top and the bottom are able to perform as far as they're maintaining temperature. I'm going to feel on the top now. Now the top is hot. The top is hot. It's hot. The side, I think it might be even a little hotter over there now than it was before. Over here, things are warm but not hot. Back, yeah, it's kind of hot back there. So, you know, and the front of these things are always hot. So, you know, basically just be careful around these things and give them some space to breathe. That's probably the best you can do if you want this cooker. Now I'm going to do I guess a quick check of the on-the-fly temperature change and time change just right quick. So yeah, we can do that, and we can, you know, change that if we want. So we are able to change time temp. I think we felt around again. I want to basically check the door though. Let's see if I press the button. No auto pause on that door, even when you open the. Either way, no auto pause there. So that's basically how things go. Now I'm going to go ahead and let's see if I turn the cooker off, stop things. And now that I've stopped it, I'm going to turn it back on. It's saying it's hot. That's interesting. Tell me that it's still hot. That's nice. So turn it back on, and I'm going to, let's see if I do the bottom, and it's still on air fry. It looks like it's still trying to continue to cook where it left off. Wow, that's interesting. So it's still trying to do that, I guess. Now I guess if I go to the top, and let's see, it's on bake 30 minutes, and say, let's see the temperature. Yeah, 450, so remember that. Now if I go back to the bottom, let's see if I turn off with air fry. I guess it remembered where I made changes on the fly before or something, so yeah, so I guess so. So it does have some retention of what you did last time. Let's see if I turn it off. It's still hot, but I'm going to unplug it anyway. And I'm going to plug it back in because I want to test memory when things are unplugged. So turn it back on, and we'll hit the bottom. Yeah, it still remembers. It still remembers my temperature. And if I go up top, it still remembers I was on bake. Still remembers my 450. Still remembers my 30 minutes. So it basically retains what you put into it. Now I do want to point out that you're supposed to do a burn off of the cooker so that I guess all the stuff that chemicals or whatever that were on it when it's shipped burn off. They say that, you know, it's not a harmful process is what they say, but you know, basically you're supposed to put everything in here, and you're supposed to run the top on bake at 450 for like 25 minutes and the bottom on air fry at 450 for 25 minutes and do a burn off. So now I'm going to talk about all the different functions that the cooker has and go through each one of those. So basically the first one that you have, and these are the top functions. As I mentioned earlier, the top functions are different from the bottom functions. There's some things you can do on top you can't do on bottom, and vice versa. So the first function is broil. With broil, your temperature settings are just high and low. That's all you get. They don't give you a specific temperature. The cooking time on broil goes up to 30 minutes. So next is toast, and basically you can do your toast for, let's see, if you hit the temp, it turns to shade, and you can do shade up to 7, and I guess I'll turn it back to where it was. And time is slices. You can do up to 6, because as I mentioned, you can toast up to 6 slices of bread. Then when you go down to bagel, same deal. It can do basically 6 bagels, and you put them face down. The next function we have is the bake function. Now with the bake function, you can go for up to 4 hours, and the temperature ranges for bake are between 180 degrees Fahrenheit and 450 degrees Fahrenheit. Next we have the reheat function. With the reheat function, you can go for up to 4 hours, and the ranges for reheat are 100 degrees Fahrenheit to 450 degrees Fahrenheit. And then there's the keep warm function. With keep warm, you can go for up to 2 hours, but they don't give a temperature. So like you hit temp and it's just like, you know, I don't recognize you trying to hit temp, because there's nothing that you can do for temp. So those are the functions that this cooker has for the top functions. Now for the bottom functions, we'll hit the bottom button to get to those. And basically the first bottom function we have is whole roast. And so with the whole roast, you basically like can cook like the whole chicken, or, you know, something big, whole big thing, where you probably put the rack down on the bottom with the pan in there. And so the cooking time goes up to 4 hours for whole roast, and the temperatures are 250 degrees Fahrenheit to 450 degrees Fahrenheit. And let's see, what is next here? Next is the air roast function. Air roast, you can go up to 4 hours, 250 degrees Fahrenheit to 450 degrees Fahrenheit. And you basically use rack level 1 again. Air roast is going to be like where you're cooking smaller things, like a layer of maybe some vegetables, proteins, whatever you want to roast. Next we have the air fry button. I will mention with air fry, of course, you can put the air fry basket up on this second rack level and put the bake pan on the wire rack underneath to catch drippings if it's something that's going to drip a lot. And so you got the air fry fan on the side, so it's not going to impede your airflow at all. But air fry goes for up to 4 hours from 250 degrees Fahrenheit to 450 degrees Fahrenheit. Then there's convection bake. And convection bake is basically like bake, but it has an air fry fan, so it's like giving you some air convection. It's supposed to help things bake faster, is what they say, you know, for marketing the convection bake function. And basically it goes for up to 4 hours, 180 degrees Fahrenheit to 450 degrees Fahrenheit. And usually you would use rack level 1 for the convection bake. Then there's the pizza function here. In the pizza function, go up to 4 hours, 180 degrees Fahrenheit to 450 degrees Fahrenheit. With pizza, you would use rack level 2. And so they don't make any mention of any other way of doing things, but you'd probably want to put like your pizza with nothing underneath, you know, probably is going to work best, probably. And just, you know, put it on the rack and let it cook. See how things turn out for you. Next is the dehydrate function. With dehydrate can go for up to 24 hours. And basically your temperatures for dehydrate are 85 degrees Fahrenheit to 200 degrees Fahrenheit. You would use the second level for dehydrate. They don't make any mention of using 2 racks at the same time on dehydrate. If you wanted to try and dehydrate more, they don't give any guidance for that. So those are the different functions that it has for the top and the bottom. I will point out that these buttons like preset, doneness, and manual relate to the probe, the meat probe. I'll get into those a little bit later, but you've already gone to the power button, and we got a light, so you can light things up, and you see how things light up real nice in there when you hit the light button. Now, also when you cook with the meat probe, you would hit either top or bottom, and the function that you want to cook with, like if you want to do like convection bake or roast or whatever. So like, let's say I hit bottom and then I switched it to convection bake. Let's see, gotta get it started, convection bake. Let me get the meat probe just to show you real quick. So showing you how to use the meat probe, basically going to pop it into the jack over here on the side. Pop that on in there. So then I cook the cooker on, and basically you can select top or bottom. Let's say I selected the bottom, and let's say I took it over to a whole roast. I was roasting something big. And then I would hit preset, and you can select between like small beef, large beef. It's like small chicken, large chicken, then there's pork, then there's fish. There's only small fish, so there's no large fish setting. Let's say we have that. Then you hit doneness, and doneness is basically the amount of target temperature doneness that you want. So it gives you like some options there of how done, like this is medium well fish, this is like well done fish, and then let's see, then there's like medium rare fish there at 130. So you select that, and then you would hit start. Now I want to show you what the manual button does. Basically with manual, if you could have done doneness if you wanted to select doneness yourself, but if you press manual, you can select the temperature yourself. So like you can basically choose a wide range of temperature on manual. And manual has one other function. If during a cook you hold manual for 3 seconds during a cook, it'll show you the real-time temperature of the meat. So like during a cook, it's going to show you the target temperature that you're targeting. But if you hold manual for 3 seconds during that cook, it's supposed to switch over and show you the actual temperature of the meat in the middle of the cook. So those are ways to use the meat probe. Now I do want to mention that preheating is required for the bake, cookies, whole roast, air fry, convection bake, and pizza functions. Preheat is required. You can also use during a cook the smart finish option, and smart finish is basically going to have things all end at the same time. So like if you had something that's going to cook here for 30 minutes and something up here 15, it would show hold here for 15 minutes until there were 15 minutes left on the bottom cook, and then it would start cooking it for 15 minutes to have everything finish at the same time if you want your whole meal to end at the same time. So let's say that, I'm just going to basically make a mock cook here. So let's say I had something that I'm baking for like 30 minutes, and then on the bottom I've got like a whole roast that's set for 45, but then I hit smart finish. So let's say I hit start there. So once preheating, that one's just going to hold. But what's going to happen at the end of all of that, once this is basically done preheating and starts cooking after you get your food in there, the top is never going to preheat when you use smart finish. Basically the one that has the longest cook time is going to have a preheat. The other one will not have a preheat. So that's something to keep in mind. Like even if the top one had the longer cook and the bottom one had the shorter cook, then the bottom is not going to have the preheat. And so that's something to keep in mind with smart finish. The functions have preheats individually, but when you're using smart finish for having everything finish at the same time, the shorter will not have that preheat. And something to keep in mind during cooks, if a cook, let's just say a cook was running on both of these top and bottom at the same time, and we're in the middle of a cook. If we were in the middle of a cook, so let's say I just hit these just so they're running. You only hit bottom. So let's say they're running, and I wanted to pause it. I can just press the button, and it pauses both of them at the same time, or stops both of them at the same time. I guess if you don't use it for 10 minutes, it'll shut down. If you do, use it, it'll just pick up where it left off. But if you wanted to, let's say, stop one instead of the other, let's say I want to stop the top and keep the bottom on preheat, so I'd hit the top button and then pause it, and so it's on pause while the bottom's preheating. And so then if I hit bottom and I pause it or stop it, then it stops it. So you can stop top or bottom individually by just pressing that button and hitting the start stop button. Or if you don't press either of these buttons and you press start stop, it's going to pause or stop both of these, top and bottom. And like I said, pause is kind of like stop. It just depends on what you do from that point. So now I'm going to do a toast test up top here. And so I've got 2 slices of my almond flour whole wheat bread here. One has butter on it, the other one does not. So we'll see how it does with and without. So I'm just opening up the top there and going to set things on the rack like this. I'm going to go ahead and close it up, turn the cooker on. We're going up top, go into the toast function, going to leave it at shade 5, 4 slices, we'll see what happens. Hit start there. So it's doing 3 minutes 45 seconds. We'll let that run and I'll bring you back when it's done. Alright, 5 seconds. I'm seeing some smoke coming out a little bit. I mean, it's not like my smoke alarm is upset or anything, but I do see a little smoke coming out as I guess things are cooked really well in there. Let's see. So, the slice with no butter at all, you see got really well cooked on both sides. So, really good cooking there. The one that's got butter on it, I only put butter on one side of it. You see that side of it there. See the back side of it. So pretty good toasting. And almond flour whole wheat bread takes longer than normal white bread, just to point that out. I'm going to try again. Let's just see, now that things are hot, will it do the same amount of time? And it came down to 2 minutes and 9 seconds. So it recognizes when the cooker is hot not to cook as long on toast. I do like that when cookers do that. But we see now that it's able to cook toast, and cook toast pretty well. Whoops, don't want to drop it. But yeah, cook toast pretty well. Okay, so I'm going to test out a cook now, doing basically a cook on both ovens at the same time. On the bottom, I'm going to try roasting this salmon fillet. This is, I don't know if it's maybe a pound, pound and a half. I forget how big it is, but it's a fully thawed salmon fillet there. And on top, I'm going to be cooking some of my almond flour whole wheat. Well, no, there's not whole wheat in these, sorry. These are just the almond flour cookies. I have almond flour whole wheat bread that I did earlier, but this is almond flour chocolate chip cookies is what this is. And I've done almond flour chocolate chip cookies in a number of other videos, so if you're curious about the recipe and how to put it all together, just check out one of the other videos here on the channel where I did almond flour chocolate chip cookies. There's hundreds of videos on the channel, tens of cooker reviews, none sponsored, none given to me as any type of freebie to review for anyone. I buy them all with my own money and review them myself because that's how I like to do it. So basically, to get things warmed up, because I want both ovens to preheat. I don't want to do it together and have one preheat and the other one not preheat. So what I'm doing up top here, I'm going down to bake. And for the temperature, I'm going to do 350 degrees Fahrenheit. So take that down here. And for the time, I think I'm going to need like somewhere between 15, 17 minutes. I'm going to do 15. If I need more, I'll add more, but we'll see how things go with that. Then down on bottom, I want to do an air roast. Since it's a smaller protein, it's not like a big chicken. And so we'll hit the presets here. I'm going to spin all the way to small fish because I don't have a large fish setting. And then for doneness, I guess we'll do, well, I guess I'll do medium well. I can't do well because if I do well, it's going to basically overcook my fish a little bit. So I'm going to leave it at medium and maybe a little carryover, take it to 145, but I think we'll be okay with that. So going to, without using the Smart Finish, hit start. Both are preheating. Once both are done preheating, I'll get food in. Alright, both of them, I guess I have to pause it, because things just started counting down as soon as it was done preheating. So I've got the fish down here on bottom on rack level 1 on the very bottom. Cookies up top here on the top oven. So close on up and start things up again. So basically now, you know, my cookies are going to be counting down, and for my fish, it's showing the current temperature of my fish. It's kind of fluctuating between current and target. So, you know, it's like 44 degrees in the meat actually, but my target, it shows, is going to be 145 degrees or 140 degrees Fahrenheit is where it's going to get to. And so we're going to let things just cook for a while. I'll bring you on back later. Okay, so the cookies on top are almost out of time, but I'm thinking they're not totally done yet. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to hit top and pause things up top and just give them a feel. I will say if you hit top or bottom and hit the light, it does not cause the light on the top versus the bottom to run. The light's going to run on both regardless. For time, I'm just going to add like another minute if I can. Well, I wanted to add a minute. I'm just going to do another 30 seconds and leave it at that. I think they're pretty much done. I did want to mention that for the fish, I did put a little Old Bay on the fish, so all it's got on them is Old Bay seasoning. For the cookies, there's some parchment paper underneath because they said in the manual when you're baking cookies it's good to use some parchment paper with this top oven. So trying that to see how that goes with this. Underneath the fish is a Copper Chef bacon grill mat. I don't think they make those anymore, but you can go to most stores and you can get like the oven mat or something. You can cut it to fit the size of a pan. Just make sure that the oven mat you buy is made from some safe materials that don't leach anything when they get heated. So we'll let things just go ahead and continue to cook here. Well, actually we've got seconds left and the cookies are going to be done. So we'll be pulling those out. The fish is at 112 or 113 and we'll just let that continue to go. So cookies are done. Let's see if we can get them out without messing them up or something. And here's how the cookies look. They cooked up pretty nice. Yeah, they're done. So I'm going to set them aside, let them cool down. And while they cool on the side, we'll close this thing up. And let things continue to cook down bottom here. Cut this light off. We got a ways to go on the bottom, so we'll just let it continue going. Alright, so the fish is done. Took maybe a little over 20 minutes total time for the fish. And we see that it heated all the way to the 140. It heated to the target temperature. It didn't like stop ahead like it was going to do the carryover. I actually like that. If I want carryover, I'll determine that myself. So, got the meat probe on out of there. And let's see. Open up some here. Been trying to just get this meat probe out of the way. Then I'm going to set this fish to the side and let it cool down. Let it reabsorb some juices, but see how it looks there. Okay, so turn the light on so you can see the cooked food better. Salmon looks nice. Cookies look nice. It's all good. I'm going to basically slice through here. And let's see. See inside there. Looks all done. Just going to basically cut off a little piece here. Thank God for this. Do a taste. Definitely good tasting fish there. And so let's check out a cookie. So got this one here. I did not spin the pan around at all. but we do see the bottom of the cookie, the top of the cookie. We see all the cookies got a fairly even cook overall. So I'm going to go ahead and try this now. Alright, that's a very good cookie that went along with some very good fish. Two things at once, turned out well. I've cooked basically these cookies before, and they took like 17 minutes in some other cookers. Take somewhere between maybe 15, 17 in cookers with a preheat. The fish finished in an average amount of time also. So everything cooked, doing two at once in a reasonable amount of time. That's pretty good. Okay, so let's talk about how you clean the cooker. Basically, for cleaning, they mention to clean it after every use, to unplug first, and then use like a warm soapy rag, nothing abrasive, wipe like the inside and such, and clean off the accessories. They say that the accessories are hand washable recommended, but the air fry basket and wire racks can be put in the dishwasher, but that may wear them more quickly. I personally wash everything by hand except for the air fry basket with pretty much all these cookers, and I've never had a problem with the air fry basket wearing down from being in the dishwasher, but that's been my experience. So let's talk about the warranty, and you'd want to listen up on this because it's interesting. It comes with a 1-year warranty, and they'll pay to have the cooker shipped to them. So if you have a warranty issue and you need to get it shipped to Ninja, they'll pay to have it shipped to them. But in order to get the repaired cooker back, or if they're going to give you a replacement to get that replacement cooker to you, they want you to pay, and you have to pay them as written in their warranty, $20.95. And they mention that price is subject to change. So basically you're going to be paying at least about $21 and maybe a different price than that to get back what you want to get back. And so we know that shipping prices haven't been going down, so I don't know if that about 21 is going to be going down anytime soon. I wouldn't bank on that. But that's where it's at now. At the time that, you know, the warranty is printed up, it's $20.95 now, and we'll see if that changes over time. Don't know. But I also wanted to mention that, you know, nothing in the video is sponsored. You know, like I said, I don't get any give-me's. I don't ask for them and I don't want them. I pay for it with my own money. I do it all as a regular customer just like you, to give you a review that is just a straight-up review with no biases or influences. And that way I can just do things straight up. So I hope that you did like this. And I hope that in the video description you'll find lots of ways to help channels, such as my cookbook, merch, membership, donations, Amazon shop, where you can use that as you jump off point, pay the same price, help the channel. And also on my blog, you want to check that out, superwaveovenrecipes.com. Got all kinds of recipes and good things there. And so if you did like this video, please do give it a thumbs up, share the video with a friend, leave your comments, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification icon, and good eating.